A psychiatrist has no recollection of what has happened. She ends up in a penitentiary and tries to find a way out. Hey, this sounds like my life. Somebody please help me as I'm forced to voice these narrations. This is Jace with Popcorn Recap, and today we are recapping Gothica. The film starts in Woodward Penitentiary. Dr. Miranda Gray talks about her patient named Chloe. Chloe says every night the devil visits her cell and rapes her. Miranda dismisses these statements. She believes that Chloe is simply repressing memories of her abusive stepfather. Chloe is angered by this and decides to lash out at Miranda. Nurses immediately intervene and take her away. Unfazed by the incident, Miranda goes to the office of her husband and colleague, Dr. Doug Gray. They discuss Chloe's case for a while and then share a passion-filled kiss. Shortly after, the two are interrupted by one of their colleagues, Dr. Pete Graham. After a short chit-chat, Doug leaves for some unknown appointment. Pete and Miranda talk for a bit and then return to their work. Miranda does overtime and decides to end her day with a quick swim. It's stormy outside, so Miranda is accompanied by Pete on the way to her car. On the way home, Miranda is stopped by police officers. They tell her to take a detour due to a sinkhole on the road. Following the directions of the police, she ends up crossing a short white bridge. After crossing, she then encounters a girl in the middle of the road. This causes Miranda to panic and lose control of her car. The car crashes, and the unharmed Miranda decides to approach the rain-drenched girl. You couldn't pay me to do some shit like that. Miranda offers to help the girl, but the girl only stares at her. The girl then bursts into flames and grabs Miranda by the face. Terrified, Miranda screams and then passes out. When she wakes up later, Miranda finds herself inside one of the cells in the penitentiary she works at. Having lost her memories, Miranda is disoriented and lashes out. Nurses rush to get her under control by sedating her. They then call Dr. Graham and report what happened. Pete talks with Miranda and tells her that she has been in the cell for 3 days already. He then asks if she remembers anything about what happened. Miranda tries her best to recall what happened and talks about the girl she encountered. Pete tells her that there was no girl found at the scene of the car crash. He then slowly tells her about Doug, who is now dead. He also reveals that Miranda is the primary suspect of her husband's murder. Miranda lashes out again after hearing the news. Pete is forced to pin her down on the bed to control her. The nurses then rush in once again to sedate Miranda. The next morning, Miranda wakes up and goes to the cafeteria of the penitentiary. There she meets many of her former patients, including Chloe. Chloe decides to approach Miranda and after a small chat gives her a newspaper clipping. Miranda reads the clipping and finds out she is indeed suspected of murdering her husband. That night, Miranda wakes up and sees someone breathing on the glass of her cell. Stank breath! She then sees the words, "Not alone," written on the misty glass door. Terrified and unable to accept everything that's happening, she huddles at the corner of the room and tells herself that it's all a dream. The next morning, Miranda goes to the communal showers. She takes a shower with the other patients. She then hears Chloe and the other women seemingly taunting her. Miranda sees the girl she met at the bridge and starts to panic. The girl attacks Miranda using her nails and digs them into her left arm. The other patients are frightened by the incident as Miranda is left lying on the floor. Miranda is brought to the infirmary where Pete attends to her. He checks her vitals while thinking that she is still deluded. After an awkward chat about his romantic feelings towards Miranda, Pete says he is there to help her. Once out of the infirmary, Miranda tries reaching out to Dr. Phil Parson, another one of her colleagues. She tells her that Pete might not be the best doctor for her treatment. He was reluctant to help her and says that Pete is the best doctor on his staff. Later on, Miranda meets with her lawyer, Teddy Howard. Teddy tells her that the evidence is overwhelmingly against her favor. He then suggested that their only option was to plead for temporary insanity. Shortly after, Sheriff Bob Ryan, the best friend of Doug, joins the meeting as well. He tries to question Miranda about what happened that night, but ends up losing his temper. He starts accusing her and shows pictures of the horrendous crime scene. Miranda is terrified of what she saw and then notices her cuts suddenly bleeding. She takes off her bandages and sees the words, "Not alone," deeply etched into her skin. She then glances at the photos again and finds the same phrase written in blood in one of the photos. Miranda has another breakdown and the medical staff decide to sedate her. The next morning, Miranda is accompanied by Pete to see Dr. Parsons. She tells them that she was there when Doug was murdered and that she wasn't alone. While trying to convince the two men, Miranda notices a framed picture of a girl behind Parsons. Shocked, she then reveals that it was the same girl she met during the bridge incident. Saddened, Dr. Parson tells Miranda that it's impossible. It turns out the girl was his daughter Rachel, and she committed suicide years ago. Later that night, Miranda wakes up after feeling a strong and eerie presence inside her cell again. Miranda decides to call out to the ghost and tells her that if it's Rachel Parsons, the ghost should open her cell. The cell door is unlocked and Miranda runs to the hallway. There, she finds the girl's ghastly figure walking through a nearby wall. Miranda decides to break into Pete's office to look for something inside. At that moment, the computer turns itself on and shows an article about Rachel. Shortly after, a surveillance video appears and shows the ghost standing in a hallway. She notices the ghost is in the solitary confinement section and realizes that Chloe might be in danger. She runs to the solitary section and hears a thumping sound coming from Chloe's cell. Peeking through the opening of the cell, she sees Chloe with a bloody face being pushed against the door. She then sees the chest of a man with the Anima Sola tattoo. Terrified, she runs away but is seen by the medical staff and tackled down to submission. The next day, Miranda meets with Pete again, and she asks him about Chloe. She then tells him about the tattooed man and that Rachel Parsons did not commit suicide because when she saw Rachel's ghost, Rachel was beat up. Pete dismisses all of that and tells her that she's just delusional. He then warns her that he'll be forced to throw her in solitary if she acts up again. Later that day, Miranda meets Chloe in the yard and apologizes for not believing her before about the devil coming into her room and raping her. Chloe accepts her apology and they hug. She also warns Miranda that the devil is coming for her next. Back at her cell, Miranda starts to feel a ghostly presence haunting her again. The ghost appears and starts attacking her. She's tossed like a rag doll against the walls and dropped on the floor. A guard rushes to Miranda's cell after seeing what happened. As the guard checks her, she gets up and knocks him out. She takes the keys from the fallen guard, then escapes. The alarms go off and all the guards start looking for Miranda. Running from the guards, Miranda then goes to the pool area. Noticing the guards coming by, she goes into the pool to hide. After the guards leave, the ghost appears in the pool to scare Miranda out of it. She runs again and finds herself under the desk of Joe, a guard that is friendly with her. Joe decides to help Miranda by giving her the keys to his car. Miranda rushes to the parking area outside and takes Joe's car to escape the penitentiary. On the road, Miranda gets terrified after seeing the ghost through her rearview mirror. She then sees a truck near an intersection but can't slow down because the brakes aren't working. She desperately kicks the brakes to no avail. She narrowly escapes a collision with the truck and lets out a disturbing laugh of relief. Failing to keep an eye on the road, she slams into some road signs near the sinkhole. Furious, she yells at the ghost and asks what it wants. The ghost decides to use the radio to give her a clue to go where Doug lived. Miranda goes to their house. The porch lights turn on by themselves as she enters the house. Inside, she goes up to the second floor and notices dried bloodstains all around. Upstairs, her memories come back, and she remembers holding an axe while her husband begs for his life as she delivers a killing blow. She gets a feeling that the memories weren't hers and that she was being possessed at the time. Moving to the bathroom, she looks at a mirror and sees her face change into an unidentifiable figure. She then realizes that it wasn't her that killed Doug, but the ghost of Rachel that was possessing her. Miranda cries on the bedroom floor while holding a picture of Doug. Shortly after, the ghost gives her a sign to visit their property at Willow Creek. She decides to go and arrives at the country house at the break of dawn. She surveys the area and finds a barn nearby. After entering the barn, she finds nothing but rusty and worn-out farming equipment there. Right when she is about to leave, she sees a video camera box nearby. After examining the box, she then sees a secret entrance that leads to a basement. She goes down the stairs and turns on the lights in the basement. She is frozen in horror after finding boxes of drugs, bloody bed chains, and video recording equipment in the room. Miranda plays one of the tapes on the video camera and is petrified. The tape shows her husband torturing and killing a woman that he kidnapped. Doug was living 2 lives, and the revelation rocks her hard. Shortly after, she hears footsteps coming from upstairs and is caught by a policeman as she was about to escape. During the commotion, a woman emerges from behind the stairs of the basement. She grabs Miranda with her bloody hands, frightening Miranda. As it turns out, the woman is Tracy Sievers, the latest victim of Doug. Miranda is brought to the police station and is able to talk with Dr. Parsons. They both conclude that Rachel might have been a victim of Doug. She tries talking to Pete about this but is dismissed once again. That night, Miranda asks if she could talk with Sheriff Ryan, but he isn't there during that time. Pete, on the other hand, decides to do more research on the Anima Sola tattoo in his office. Sheriff Ryan visits Miranda later that night as well. In her cell, Miranda tells the sheriff that not alone meant there was another killer besides Doug. She discusses her theory and starts giving a psychological profile of the other killer. During that time, she realizes that the profile matched Sheriff Ryan and is convinced that he now wants to cover his tracks. Noticing that Miranda figured things out, he decides to attack her. During the attack, she rips his shirt open and finds the Anima Sola tattoo on his chest. With the help of the ghost, Miranda is able to escape from him and runs upstairs. Meanwhile, the sheriff fires multiple shots at Miranda, but only hits a gas pipe instead. Upstairs, Miranda finds the doors of the police station locked, and no one answers her screams for help. She then decides to hide under one of the desks nearby. Sheriff Ryan catches up to her and decides to do a villainous monologue about the hobby he and Doug shared. He admits to killing Rachel and starts firing at various spots. A few moments later, he sees Rachel's ghost behind one of the glass windows. Scared out of his mind, he decides to fire his shotgun at it. The shot ignites the gas that was leaking inside the station. Engulfed by the flames, he turns to see Miranda and gets shot in the head. Miranda runs to the doors and is relieved to find Pete outside. He apologizes to her for not believing anything she said. 1 year passes, and the murder charges against Miranda were dropped. She is walking with Chloe on the city streets while chatting. She has also been released, and they have now become friends. Miranda then calls a taxi for Chloe, and the two say their goodbyes. Miranda continues to walk alone and sees a boy in the middle of the road. The boy is about to get hit by a vehicle, but suddenly disappears. Dumbfounded, Miranda decides to continue walking. Moments later, a nearby lamppost has a poster plastered about a missing boy. A mind-bending movie. I didn't think Miranda's murder charges would be dropped in real life, as she did murder her husband, even if it meant that he was the killer. Alright, until next time. Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on notifications and leave a like. It really helps the channel.